Not exactly a bombshell anymore, but Prince Harry's newest move has royal insiders rolling their eyes and muttering one word: entrapment. Because what else do you call inviting your estranged father and brother to a headline-grabbing public event before speaking to them in private, then making sure the press gets wind of it? And this isn't just any gathering. Harry has chosen the 2027 Invictus Games in Birmingham for his so-called olive branch, the sting in the tail, the closing. Ceremony falls on the 17th of July 2027, the very day Queen Camilla turns 80. Coincidence? Please. Let's unpack how a single email that may not even exist yet has detonated a fresh round of royal warfare. The first headline screamed that Harry had approved email invitations to King Charles and Prince William. Sounded official, right? Up until Birmingham's organizing committee quietly reminded reporters that they, not Harry, issue formal invites, and none have gone out to anyone, royal or otherwise. In other words, the so-called emails live only in rumor and, perhaps, in a Dropbox folder marked draft. So who fed the story to the Mail and Vanity Fair? A royal source. A Sussex friend. Whoever it was achieved the mission, boxed Charles and William into a lose-lose corner. Except, and it looks like Harry scores a PR victory. Decline, and they're branded cold-hearted toward wounded veterans. That's the genius and the cynicism of using Invictus as a stage. For the public, the games are a noble showcase of resilience. For Harry, they're his last untarnished crown jewel, the one project untouched by Spotify, flops, or Netflix delays. Elevating Invictus means elevating himself, and nothing lifts a brand faster than proximity to the king and the future king. Should they turn up, cameras capture a feel-good tableau, father, sons, and veterans united. If they stay away, Harry gets to reopen the victim narrative he polished so well in Spare. Either way, headlines spell HRRY. William, though, has checked out. Friends say the fury that followed Spare has cooled into strategic silence. He no longer bothers with rebuttals. He barely mentions his brother, except with a weary half-smile, as if discussing a distant cousin rather than a once-inseparable partner. In mischief, behind the scenes, the Prince of Wales is sketching a lean monarch of fewer working royals. Trimmed ceremony and a coronation someday that dispenses with jewels he deems irrelevant. In that blueprint, Harry is a footnote, not a player. Charles sits in a tougher seat. As monarch, he represents everyone. As father, he feels the sting of estrangement. As a man nearing 80, he measures every public step against legacy. And his legacy prospects just brightened. Netflix has greenlit a glossy documentary on the King's Trust, fronted by Idris Elba. The streamer that once hailed Harry and Meghan as its golden couple is now courting Charles's safe gravitas. If the king suddenly flies to Birmingham, commentators will call it capitulation to a son whose own Netflix slate is wobbling. Skip the games, and critics claim coldness to vets. Charles knows that in 2025's news cycle, perception is reality. Perception is reality. Perception changes by the minute. Then there's Meghan, the X Factor who turns any UK appearance into a media storm. Her lawyers recently fought again for blanket police protection during visits, only to be rebuffed in the High Court. She said she won't set foot on British soil without it. If she stays stateside, commentators will accuse her of snubbing Invictus. If she shows up, flashbulbs chase every outfit change and social media post, risking a repeat of Dusseldorf Arling Arsene, when veteran interviews were overshadowed by her arrival and abrupt early exit. Either scenario pulls attention from the athletes Harry says he champions. Public mood matters too, and polls spell trouble for Team Sussex. By May 2025, only 1 Brit in 5 viewed Meghan positively. Harry's numbers hovered a notch higher, but far below those of Charles, Camilla, or the Waleses. People who once cheered the couple's break for freedom now roll their eyes at each new exclusive. Even People magazine, long Sussex-friendly, devoted its spring cover to Kate's recovery, leaving California conspicuously unmentioned. As sympathy drains, so does leverage. The media pattern is old but effective. Plant a tantalizing leak. Let tabloids amplify it, then play innocent when asked for proof. The Sunday papers duly printed that Harry had personally approved invitations. By Monday morning, Invictus officials clarified no such emails existed. Damage done. Narrative set. Harry's team can claim sincerity he tried. They refused while Charles and William endure hours of pundit panels parsing whether they care about veterans. It's emotional blackjack, and Harry keeps dealing himself the high card. But what if the gambit backfires? Imagine Charles decides not to attend. William follows suit, citing diary clashes. Coverage turns. The king stands firm. The heir stays focused. And Harry is left explaining why his reunion attempt involved front-page leaks instead of a quiet phone call. That narrative hardens the perception already spreading across news feeds. The Duke of Sussex wants reconciliation only on camera. Flip the scenario. Charles pops in for day one of archery, offers a handshake and a photo, then jets out for Camilla's milestone dinner. William skips the games, but sends a message of support. Harry gets his father's public endorsement sort of but no meaningful private thaw. The world sees cordial gestures, not genuine warmth. And the story drifts within 24 hours to whether Camilla's birthday overshadowed the closing ceremony. In both futures, trust stays buried. Meanwhile, the House of Windsor moves on. William refines plans for a monarchy that lives within its means and it's irredigital, transparent, less velvet, more relevance. There are whispers he'll never reside in Buckingham Palace full-time, opting instead for Windsor's efficiency and a city office, turning the Grey Fortress into a museum. A showpiece monarchy needs fewer players. Anyone outside the core for William. Kate, George, and maybe Charlotte becomes an occasional guest star, not a main character. Archie and Lilibet hanging on to HRH titles for a maybe future. That door, insiders say, is shut. Entertainment executives are already hedging bets. Spotify walked away in 2023. Netflix keeps delaying Sussex projects while greenlighting Charles's. Even magazines that once rushed to showcase Meghan's style spreads now court Princess Charlotte's first piano recital photos instead. Celebrity capital flows to whoever commands the next click. And lately, that's not Harry. So where does this leave the olive branch? If it's genuine, it will sprout in silence in a phone call nobody hears, a private dinner without a single smartphone in sight, while the current plan plants seeds under floodlights and wonders why they never root. Veterans will still triumph in Birmingham. The games will still roar with applause. Yet hovering over the medals will be a quieter question. Can any family heal if every apology arrives with a camera crew? The Invictus finale may share a date with Camilla's 80th. But real calendars mark something larger. The shrinking window for Harry to mend fences before William's streamlined monarchy leaves no space to stand if he truly wants back. He'll need to close the laptop, ditch the ghostwriters, and start with 2 words never leaked to the press: I'm sorry. Until then, every public gesture risks feeling less like reconciliation and more like, well, entrapment. And entrapment, as royal insiders keep whispering, rarely ends in a happily ever after. So July 2027 looms. Whether king, prince, or duke shows up in Birmingham almost feels secondary. The central drama is simpler. Will trust ever show up again? Because without it, even the grandest olive branch is just another headline waiting to wilt.